So let's open Once Enterprise and see what can we do with the files. We need to wait some time. Choose administrator in user list. Okay. We have already configured our info base, reference information, and some other system settings. So we have our information repository that contains incoming, internal, outgoing documents and files, and now we need to find the differences between files and documents. Open the files, and now we see the folder list and the files list. Our info base is empty now, but it will be increasing in the future when we will be adding the files in the system. So also we have an opportunity to add the files in internal documents. Open internal documents, open the documents form, this is a file. At this moment all files in the system are conditional, and let's see the other command named all files. This command shows us all files that system has in incoming, internal, outgoing documents, files, and in other places where can you add the files. Oh, sorry. We can find out where the file is with the attribute placement. Open the file form. You can do it by press F2 or click right button and edit. We can see the placement of the file in the tab Other. Also we can change the placement. Need to select, and for example we want to select file folder, for example. Choose the folder, it can be orders, select, save and close, and you can see that the placement has changed. Let's change the placement of the special order 1 back into the internal document. Open the form, Other, select internal document, OK, order 1, and save and close. And you see that the special order 1 has disappeared from the folder orders. And go back to the order 1. the placement of the file is the file owner. The file owner sets the permissions on the file. For example, if the file is internal document and user has the permissions on internal documents, the user will see the files in the files list. Consequently, if the user hasn't got the permissions of internal documents, the user will not see the file. If the file is in the files, the permissions on the files is set by permissions on the folder. You can also configure the permission for users or departments by right button and permission settings. We will learn about the permission settings in depth in our next lessons. Working with the files is an identical in all part of system, in documents and files and forms of orders, and we will work with the files on example on files. So let's see the different ways of adding or creating files into the system. First, the most easiest way to create new file is the drag and drop. For this action we need to open the Windows Explorer or the Windows folder and select the necessary file. And now we need to drag and drop this file in necessary folder. Drag and drop it. Save and close. And now the system copy the first order into the system 1C document management. But we can't drag the file from the 1C enterprises and drop it into the Windows. This action is not available. Also, we can drop it the several files. We need to select several files, drag and drop it. The import files panel is opened. We need to click input, and we have already inputted the three files, the first, second and third orders. All files are conditional, and if we open the file we can see that the files are empty, all of them. So also we can copy the files between the system objects by the drag and drop. We need to drag and drop it. And now we copy the first order from the folder orders in the tabbed files into internal document order in the first order. But if the files have the identical names and we edit it, for example save, close, and finish. We can also add a description. I write add very important information. Done. And we drag and drop file again. The system doesn't create a new file because the names of these files are identical, but we can see a new version of the file form, versions, and also the system can show differences between two versions. We need to show differences. And the word show it to us. Show the difference to us. Don't save. So okay, we also can create new files by scan it. If the scanner connects with computer, input from the disk, we need to choose the file, for example order 4, save and close, and the system copy it from Windows Explorer. Or we can create the file from templates. When we create a file from templates, the folder file templates contains all file templates of the enterprises. When we create file from templates, the system copy the selected template and user rename it. For example, order 5 or 5th order, save and close. No. And the system has copied the template one from file templates to selected folder and user renamed it. We have already known from last lessons of configure reference information that all users need two permissions for reading file templates and responsible for the actual conditions needs permission for the working with the files, creation, changing, and deletions. We also can create or adding the group of files. For this section we need to click right button, import files from disk, and choose necessary files. Open input files panel is opened, import, and now we import 4 files from the Windows Explorer. Also, we can input the folders from the computer into 1C. We need to import folder from disk, right button, import folder from disk, and choose the folder, for example special orders. Select from, this is a local path, and we can configure some settings to store versions or delete files from the disk that the system don't copy files, but after the section the system deletes the files from the computer. Also, you can't import the file into the root, and the system show us information about the folder that contains 4 files and 0.2 subfolders. Input, and now the parent folder agreements has the subfolder special orders, but we want to move special orders into the root. Open folder form and delete the agreements, save and close. And now the special orders isn't the subfolder to agreements, and special orders is in the root of the files. We also can save the folder to disk. To the section you need to click on necessary folder by red button and save folder to disk. Let's edit some files. So for example, I want to choose the older one, but first view the files, and at this moment the 1C server gets the link of the file that is keeping in infobase, and then the 1C server gives the file to Thing client. Please pay attention that the 1C server and the Thing client is two different working machine. So, and 1C and the Thing client saves the file into its own local cache. Let's see this. Every user has their own local cache, and our cache, my cache, have this location. The system creates these temporary files after every click on view or edit. And you also can see these files, give a list of files, and for example the order 1 we have opened 3 times, special order 1, template 1 times time, and then the system open the file from this main working directory by the embedded program for this extension. For me it's Microsoft Office. It can be also OpenOffice. So let's open the file for editing. Edit. At this moment file also again copy from the 1C server to the thin client, and the system is marking the files that is marking the file for other users that the file is locked for another users. Let's edit something very important information. For example, we want to write C document management. Save, and when we save the file in the world, the 1C server doesn't know about changings because we save the file on thin client. And after press finish, the 1C server takes the new version of changed file. We can add a description. We add the 1C document management. Add 1C document management. Done. And we can see that the file now is unmarked. Now open the form, versions, and we also see the command and very important information and 1C document management. And now we also can see the differences, show a difference, and world shows the differences. The original document that created by admin, the first differences is very important information, and the second is 1C document management. The world also shows us all differences that it can find.